Well, the big thing is that we can do like real-time performance. We actually have a Waldo. We can fly whatever object we're doing right there, and it's a telemetry thing, so they get instant gratification. They can right now look at it, then we go back and smooth it up, and we can replay it, edit it, and it's real dynamic and fast. Yeah. That's the
Waldo is an instrument that's like 1/10 of the size of the object that we're flying. So instead of having to computerize it, put everything in a computer and kind of figure out where it's at, Mark or who's ever operating it can literally take it and do it in real time, and then just push a record button and record it. It saves hours of time by doing it this way.
We're very careful. We test it without people in it. We have a e-stop system. We have 2 people on e-stop buttons that if anything goes wrong, that we can just stop it. And then we have 3 different forms of brakes on it. And we're just very careful. Yeah. We realize that this is scary stuff, and we just want it to go very well. So
they have similar rigs that fly cameras and stuff. You've seen them at football games and stuff, the cable cam and the Spidey cam. But we fly, well, like in Spider-Man, it was the taxi cam was on that.
And Green Hornet,
and Green Hornet
was Black Beauty.
The Black Beauty on that system. So we're flying big objects with people underneath them and inside of them, and so safety is a really, really big concern of ours. Yeah. And we go to no limits
to make sure it's
safe.
Like, this is our 4th version of these winches, and that's back to the safety thing. It's like, okay, this isn't good enough. Okay, he actually at one point said you need to start over, and so I just, okay, you're right. We need to make it better, put bigger brakes on it, better electronics. We have encoders, 2 different kinds of computers controlling it, and so it's real important. It's like an accomplishment after all. What, it's been 6 years.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, 6 years of work. So
I think for Mark and I, because this is my 47th year in the business, so
holy moly,
what is that guy old? What this award is for is what we really represent behind the camera. It's like everybody else in the room. We're the ones that make so much, pretty much make the movie. So in my respect, this award means a lot more to me than anything, because this is what we're about. Creating and engineering and making things.
And it's my first award, so it's really important to me.
Our work is played out in films over roughly the past decade, actually, and so we've developed technology that was sort of precursor to some of the latest developments that we've heard about last year.
That to be used a lot. We had to prove it had an impact on the industry, and I think it did. Basically, that's what made the difference, because early presentation, when we didn't prove it was used extensively, and then suddenly after many films, it was obvious that this technology had an impact on the industry.
That, and also DreamWorks had quite a few movies using global illumination before other studios did, and so that, I think, kind of inspired and hopefully made other people try to pursue the same goal. And so it showed a certain influence on the industry, we believe.
About 10 years of programming. Worked quite a bit at many different companies and tried to, learn all the ins and outs of what people wanted to do. Oh, well, there was a lot of call for this sort of thing. People wanted to use lots and lots of computers to handle solving problems. And so there was a lot of demand for getting the work done as quickly as possible. And so that's where the render queues would come in. They'd try to tie all those machines together and get them all working on one problem and try to solve it as quickly as possible. High def means higher resolution images, which means longer render times. So you need better software, faster software to get all those computers to work on the same problem and get those long render times down as short as possible.
Actually, about a decade ago, I was at a company called Pacific titled Mirage, and we were working on a facial performance capture system where we put a lot of effort into how we track the face to really try to capture all the subtleties of what was going on with the flesh. And how things have kind of changed is that when you start trying to use those techniques on a completely different face, you have to really start looking at what's the actual real information which matters, because if a human's doing something and a gorilla is doing something, it's not the same motion. The nose will scrunch up in a different way. So you have to really break down what is going on in that face in terms of information content. What muscles are being activated, because that's really what your brain is sending to your face, and that's what matters. That's what the actor's delivering emotionally, and so it's we've looked more about how to break that information down and really analyze expression. I guess a big advancement in Avatar was we started working with helmet cameras. So we had a little camera which would sort of film the actor's face, and we were able to build a real-time system. So we could we could actually have the actors live, and you'd see the digital counterpart in a virtual world. But part of it was because we're using a camera and video-based system, we could track everything really sort of accurately, like all the eye motions, and get everything just right. And so there's been a number of advancements. It keeps going. It's really nice that the Academy's recognising this work. There's lots and lots of hours put into this work, and so it's nice that they're also recognising work done over many years.